Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Out of It. I shouldn't say good morning because I don't know when you're listening to this or when you're watching this. It's morning for me. So, good morning's a nice greeting. It is morning. It's not that early when I'm recording. It's like 7, a little bit after 7. I did wake up at 5 so that I could do a barrage of chores and hydrate, wash my face. All the things that when I was single I would do, at night before I went to bed, or not 5 o'clock in the morning, after I kind of casually woke up whenever. But that's not the life of a mom. And I'm a regular mom. I'm not a this is not like some fancy set that I have decorated. This is actually the playroom. These are actually my kids' things. I do not have a staff. It's just me and the kid almost all day, and it's great, and I love it, and I'm grateful for it, and all the things that you're supposed to say. I say this probably every episode, but that's because it's a combination of mom guilt and also my brain doesn't work. So I repeat myself a lot. I apologize. I did make notes for this episode. My daughter's already rolling around. Yes, I'm trying to get her sleep earlier. We did not sleep train. This microphone, can I lift it? That's easier. Now I'm not like leaning. My posture is very out of whack since becoming a mom. I'm just, you're nursing, so you're kind of curled forward. Everything hurts. I'm starting up not rigorous, but a regular exercise program just so that I can sit in a chair without being in physical pain. And I don't think that's an age thing. I know young people, but that also have these problems, but it's also for sure an age thing. I'm 43, so my body just breaking down. I think once, what is it, your mid 30s, your body just is like on the downslide. So you got to give a little more attention, a little extra attention. But yeah, it hurts to just kind of sit. So let me fuck with the audio. Oh, good. I already cursed. Well, that brings us to the main topic is I made myself a list of smart choices when I want to curse. We were talking about that at the last episode. I swear so much, so much. And I don't like it. My daughter's repeating me, which again, as I said, it's all fun and games before she can pronounce the letter F. People are like, well, she loves mother ducks. She sure does, especially when she breaks things or drops things, or falls or gets frustrated or is maybe excited, like mother duck. Who would, I use it too much. Here's my list of smart choices. I wrote it down. I'm so blind. So my body hurts and I can't see. This has got to be everyone else, right? In your 40s, welcome. Everything's falling apart. Okay, smart choices. I made a list. Write things down. This is very helpful. If you have never done any kind of, I don't want to say self-help, behavior modification, write it down, because if you're just thinking it, a lot of times it gets added into the loop of other never-ending thoughts, and it will get lost. So if you're trying to really have a solution and you're trying to change something, writing it down really helps. And I'm sorry for the paper sound and the audio coming through. Maybe not. Maybe it's ASMR. Who knows? Sorry. I'm more self-conscious about the lip plumper that I put on right before we started recording. If you're listening, you can't hear. If you're watching, does it look crazy? It probably feels very like kind of sex doll, right? It's bright, it's puffy. I just hit my new microphone on my shirt. Sorry for the video recording. Is it still going? Cool, green light. I'm really trying to do a good job for everyone. And thanks for being here. When I was single and childless, I did a lot of lip plumper. I did a lot more like self-care, looking good. And part of when you're single, and not that like I was never one of these women who was like looking for a man, I got to get a husband. Not that way, but it does feel nice to know that a bunch of strangers want to have sex with you. I'd be lying if I said that didn't feel good. It does feel good. It feels good to be wanted and feel sexy. And part of that for me for a long time was having these big, toothy lips. And I do have big-ish. My bottom lip is bigger than the top lip. Not important. I have full lips. And no work done. And isn't that lucky for me? But I do this like a lip plumper, and I used to use it all the time. And now I haven't used it in forever because when you are holding your baby, you're always kissing, and they're kind of rubbing up against you, and it will like their skin will get red and inflamed because it's an irritant. I almost said adjutant. It's an irritant, which is why your lips like swell. It's probably not great to do, but it's for sure not good for a kid's skin. So I just don't really wear makeup because it would rub off on my daughter, and she's a baby and she's got sensitive skin. Anyway, something that I used to do all the time that I never really noticed it was there. I feel like my face is on fire. I feel like my lips are on fire, like I'm being stabbed by a bunch of little ants. It's very uncomfortable. It reminds me, and it's all I can think about. It reminds me of a time that, so I did, if you're new to me through like TikTok, the what's the last video that went viral was about the neighbor asking me about my hair, if my husband approved, or like, yeah, if he like was okay with me coloring my hair hot pink. A silly offhanded thing that I was like, maybe this will be funny. If you're here from that video, hi, welcome. If you're here from the Betsey Johnson video, I feel like the Betsey Johnson people are going to be cool with what I'm about to say. The Betsey Johnson video, I ran into Betsey Johnson. I'll tell you the story in a second. It's fucking cool. At the Charlotte airport. Very quick. I didn't meet her. It was kind of like a passing. I'll get to that in a second. I want to finish this thought. I got to practice finishing a train of thought. And here it goes. The burning sensation on my face. It's so intense, and I'm thinking, like, why did I ever do this? This can't be good for me. This is uncomfortable. I don't like it. I want it to end. But once it's on, it's kind of there, even wiping it off. You just have to wait for it to run its course. This reminds me of a time when, so I lived in New York City from the age of, when did I move there? When I was 34. And I left after COVID. So 34 to like, I really got to sit up straight. 34 to 38, 39, something like that. Anyway, 4 or 5 years I was there. For most of the time I lived in New York, I don't want to say healthy, that's not the correct adjective. I had a robust cocaine habit. I did it a lot on a very regular basis. Again, if you're new, I don't mean to freak you out. I feel like the Betsey people are cool with it. I did it for a very long time. And I lied about it for a very long time. I had stories about like, it's crazy. I can't believe I did drugs a couple times, this penthouse, but then it was like pretty much every day. That's not true. I would take like, a Wednesday off or something every now and then, but it was bad. It's not funny. Drugs are bad. Don't do it. The show is not for kids. I should say that now. This is not for kids. Anyway, I did it on a very regular basis. And when you're doing anything on a regular basis, it starts to lose its efficacy. You don't notice it. You got to have more of it. That could, coffee, huh? I used to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. I don't know how I'm alive. I don't know. And I drank all the time. And then in the mornings, I would just like, mornings at noon when I woke up, I did stand-up comedy and had older rich boyfriends that helped me pay for things. I'm gonna let you expound upon that yourself. I don't want to say too much online. This is supposed to be, I was really trying to, with my new mom persona, just do only mom stuff, but the regular me is seeping out. Sorry. So there were a lot of times where I could sleep until noon or 1. And I would wake up and just like Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction with the adrenaline shot, like every morning wake up and you just hydrate, water, dandelion tea, detox supplements. And then I would immediately, it was water, coffee, detox. As soon as that was done, energy drink, sick. And then power through, I did stand up power through shows. and then drink after the shows. And then you're so tired because you're filling your body with poison all the time. You're like, oh man, I could go to sleep right now, but look at all this booze. And so then you need something to help you stay awake. Anyway, it's a very bad cycle. I did it for a very long time. I took a year off. I just stopped and drinking everything. I was living very clean. Well, that's not true. I wasn't consuming poisons. This is when I was in St. Louis for a year. I lived in an attic apartment in St. Louis during COVID. It wasn't a clean, or it wasn't healthy. It was clean in that, no, I was still smoking and energy drinks. I was very skinny, which people confuse being skinny with being healthy or like a good person. It's not, none of those things. I got very thin because I had nothing to do. I didn't know anyone in this town. And it was during lockdown. So nothing was really open. And I would just exercise for like 4 or 5 hours a day. And I would read and write. And I started to get off on like how long I could go without eating. And I wasn't like get hungry, meditate. Again, energy drink, cig, like just I'm gonna do a workout with water jugs and put it on a YouTube channel. It was a lot of people went insane, and I found someone who I wasn't drug free. I was taking Adderall. Anyway, I was snorting it. It's fine. I wasn't drinking or doing cocaine for a long period of time. I went back to New York to go see my friends, and almost like instinct, you land, a couple of really close friends, a handful of close friends I wanted to see, and then I was like, oh, drug dealer. So I thought, you know what, this will be fun. I'm here. I'm in a hotel. I'm like, I'm back in it. I used to be able to like to have like a line. I can't believe I'm talking about this. Really wanted this to be a mom show. Sorry. There are a lot of moms who used to be like that. I hope. Anyway, I would do a little bit like as I'm like sipping a Prosecco, getting ready for the night. And I know my watch just hit the microphone. Sorry for the sound. But it would like not really affect me. And when I did it for the first time in a very long time, I did the same. I was like, oh, I'll have a little Prosecco, do a little bump in the bathroom, and then we'll kind of go like start the night. I immediately just like once it hit my system, full panic attack, shaking, vibrating. I was at the table and people were like, hey, and I'm like, I can't, I feel like I'm dying. Like, what the, I mean, I just was like, and then, my friends, I was like, oh, it's been a while. And I'm like, why would I do this? Why? What the fuck is wrong with me? See how I edited the F? I'm practicing being a good mom. Anyway, that's how I feel now with the lip plumper. It's uncomfortable and I don't know why I ever did it. And yeah, there's a little bit of payoff, but like, is it worth it? Okay, so I finished that thought loop. And now we're on to the topic of making smart choices when I want to drop F-bombs or whatever else I say in front of my kid. I'm going to put this coffee over here so that I don't drink it because this is a short episode. I say that every time. Well, these are not like hour-long episodes. This is not like where I'm going to sit here for like 2 hours. It's like enough. This is, smart choices. Let me just move on to this. Okay. And then I'll tell the Betsey Johnson story. All right. And then I'll go. So smart choices. I wrote it down. These are the things that I say all the time. So if you want to try this, maybe you just write down a list of the things that you say a lot. So when something goes wrong, notice the times. When you're trying to do a behavior modification, mindfulness, whatever, you got to be, the first thing is be honest with yourself. And the cursing is out of control. I don't like it. So you got to first notice, like, when are you doing it? At what point in your day are you cursing? And for me, it's if I drop something. So that's a big and as a tired, stressed, do I have like one rat tail piece of mullet hair tickling me? I feel like I am on drugs now. And that's because I am. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. I am bipolar too, the fun kind. When I don't get enough sleep, and I cannot be alone on this. There's a point where I'm tired. I'll say like, hey, I need to get sleep. I need to get sleep. And then it tips. And all of a sudden I'm like, I don't need sleep. Just a quick nap from 2 to 3 a.m. and I'm ready to go. Get the walking pad out in the backyard. Let's do a midnight run. And then we'll record podcasts all day. And then the next day we'll do TikTok. You can't, the TikTok tag, I didn't need it. But, I'm getting back in the saddle of talking and trying to be entertaining. Okay. So I drop things a lot because I'm like, a real shaky bitch. And we've talked about this. I take all of my energy and focus it on my daughter. So I pull any kind of calm, anything, so that when I'm with her, everything is good and cool. And then the rest of my life is just in tatters. And I'm trying to change that because, I want to feel good, like as Wendi, and not just be a great mom. And put your mask on first. You got to put your mask on first. So I'm trying to do that. It's hard when you get thrown into a little bit of like a hypomania phase. And it's why, because people be like, oh, you're really productive. And it's like, oh, this is, I gotta sleep. Anyway. All right. Smart choices. So you're paying attention to when you do things. When I drop things, something hits my foot, water spills, whatever. Just a quick exclamation of a like, oh, shit, God damn it, no. Something like that. What I'm going to change that to. So any of these, something happens that I don't like, that's unexpected. I'm going to say, oh man, and then follow that up with, oh, well, that's okay. Right? So that's what I'm going to do. If you want to, you can totally just copy these if you don't have time to like, and this works. Because if you think you drop something and you're like, oh man, you can really hit it with the same emphasis as motherfucker. You can, again, this show is not for kids. Okay. So you can do that. I mean, it's for kids in that I'm trying to help moms be better parents, which in like a butterfly effect kind of way, makes it for kids. But like a child should not be watching or listening to this. Okay. Continuing. Okay, so, oh man, oh well, that's okay. Because not just for me to chill out, but also I want my daughter, what am I doing? I gotta wrap this up. My brain is like melting. I want her to have that attitude. When something goes wrong, it falls, it breaks. It would be devastating to me if she when she makes a mistake, for her to beat herself up, because it's like that. I used to do that. It sucks. It doesn't feel good. It's not a big deal. So I'm trying to just think like, how do I want her to react? I don't want her to be like, whatever, who cares? But you say like, oh man, because you acknowledge like, oh, that sucks. Oh man, oh well, that's okay. We can always clean it up. We can pick it. It's not a big deal, right? And I utilized this last night. I dropped, like the spoon holder things for when you're cooking by the stove. I dropped it. I gotta get all plastic, unbreakable stuff. We already did it with the plates. We did it with the Tupperware. I'm done with it. Especially not just like a scatterbrained grown up, but also like there's a kid in the house, and I got a cat who walks on the countertops. So like things fall and break. So I need to get like all plastic, or maybe like, do they have like beanbag furniture? Can you make that into plates? I would love like a big beanbag chair of like a lay. That would get soggy. But it would form to the spoon. Anyway, bad idea, bad ref. Sorry, I'm moving on to the next thing. I do need to get a plastic spoon holder. So I was just carrying it, and the dog and the cat kind of came into the kitchen, and I jumped to not step on them, and I dropped the spoon holder. It broke. And I was able to go to my smart choices. I don't carry this with me, but you look at it, you have it. And, oh, that's a good idea. I should put it on the fridge. Anyway, I stopped myself and I said, "Oh man." And you can really hit it. You don't have to sound cheesy like, "Oh man, oh nuts, oh shuck." You don't have to sound like you're a little rascal. You can say it with the same emotion as like mother F, you'd be like, "Oh man." Show like real emotion because that's normal. And she's she's already starting to show real emotion. She's 2 in like 3 weeks. Like, so kids are going to have all the same big feelings and emotions that we have. So I don't want to hide those from her. I don't want to be like scary with my emotions and feelings, but I'm also not trying to act like I don't have them, because then when she inevitably has them, I don't want her to think like, "Oh wow, am I a weirdo because I like get really upset?" And mom seems to always be like, "Oh well, that's okay. Oh well, that's okay. Oh man. Oh," like I don't want to be like that. Um, so there's a balance, but I really like the "oh man, get mad," and then oh, that hurt my lips. Ooh, I felt the fire when I squeezed them, and then "oh well, that's okay." Like, all right, well, you don't need to beat ourselves up. Just let's fix it and move on. Um, and then the next grouping I have is a loud noise, something that surprises me. So this would be like a knock on the door, a loud crash in the other room, something that I don't expect that surprises me. So my responses to those things are as follows: what the fuck? What the hell? Which is not that terrible. And Jesus fucking Christ. So for those, when I get a big surprise, my 2 smart choice. Sorry, microphone. I just like hit it. You probably heard it on the audio. You saw it in the video. My 2 smart choice options are "what in the world?" or "what the heck?" My uncle does "what the heck." I love it. So it's her great uncle. He says "what the heck" all the time. It's so great. He goes, "What the heck?" I love it. It's a great one. You do this crazy. It's like a very fun thing to do. She gets a kick out of it, because I don't want her to react in fear. And so this is part of like being a leader, I guess. I don't know. Um, someone let me know if I'm doing a good job if you've had kids before. I don't want her to be scared. So like if I hear a loud noise and I'm like, "Jeez, like the hell?" I don't want her to also be like, "Oh my gosh, we're scared. Mom doesn't know what to do." So if I go like, "what in the world?" Like that's when I will do kind of a cartoony thing, because again, I want her to question something, be aware like, "Oh, that was a loud noise," but not be afraid of it. Not obviously we're not like running to like, "Hey, there's it sounds like someone's trying to break into the garage. Let's go investigate." Like I'm not doing that. I'm not like I'm not like, "Okay, run to the scary noise." Like you keep our distance, but also like, "Hmm, I wonder what that is," kind of a thing. But so my 2 options there are "what in the world?" or "what the heck?" Good ones. And the last one, I use this way too much. This was a problem when I did stand up. It's a problem talking. I use the F word as an adjective. It's super fucking annoying. And it's in stand up, it's lazy writing and conversation. It's lazy because you like don't have a good vocabulary. And so I'm going to keep that going. I'm not trying to like expand my vocabulary. I'm just going to change it to super or super duper, right? Man, this guy is a real super jerk, right? That sounded, you know what I mean? This guy's a real super idiot. This guy's a super duper idiot. Okay. And all my examples where I'm putting someone down, it's going to be a man. Sorry, boys. So I've tried that and it works. Man, it's super hot today. I don't know why I'm doing like a surfer voice. That's not also how I talk to my daughter. My mom never cursed, but she did like a Spicoli, like a bad Spicoli voice all the time. She'll be in therapy for that. I wish she would have just fucking stopped. She'll be, okay, there's a medium good riff. I'll take it. All right, so those are my, sorry for the paper sound. Or do you like it? Okay, there's that. quick Betsey Johnson story, and then we'll go. So Betsey Johnson, here's what happened. If you would like to implant this interaction into your brain as one of your own memories, because it's been helping my self-esteem, and also probably why I'm like a manic, little bit of a manic thing right now. Okay, so I'm at the Charlotte airport with my daughter, and we're connecting to our flight home to Austin. We were in the C gate. C is in Charlie or cat. We're doing letters. I know my alphabet. Are you impressed? So we're walking. We're just kind of like going up and down. We had a lot of time to kill. Our flight was pushed back a little bit. So we get to the gate and I'm like, yeah, we got like 30 minutes. We're bored. Let's take a lap. So we take a lap. And as we're coming back towards our gate on the right side of my body, we just people watching. My kids in the stroller. I got all my bags on me as if I'm like moving into a new house. Just so many bags, and like I'm being deployed. So I had the backpack on. It's a very cute black. It's a Cara bag that it's like a backpack weekend duffel thing that I got at the Equinox on the Upper East Side. Thank you, the one on Lexington. And a matching that I got the matching fanny pack at TJ Maxx for like $15. Cara black fanny pack, and then a big duffel that's soft. It's one of those big soft bags. I don't know the brand. Willow, another TJ Maxx find, but it's a really big. It's their. I highly recommend getting one of those big soft bags, because it does also work as a pillow for your kid on the plane, in a car. It's just great to have. Anyway, so I got all that stuff on, and I'm pushing a stroller. So all the bags are black, and the stroller is a forest green. This doesn't matter, but it kind of does because it's Beth. And I'm sure she wasn't like, oh, wow, a green bag, a little pop of color. I'm sure that's not what she was thinking. Anyway, so I'm walking down through the terminal, and on the right side of me, ahead, just kind of people watching, I see this woman sitting at her gate, presumably waiting to get on a plane, and too much information, no one cares. So I see this woman, and this tiny, very petite lady, and she's got an oversized hot pink sweater on and black pants, and she's kind of looking like she's going to take her sweater off. So she's got her arm in, and she's kind of moving around, and she's got this big like mop of bright blonde hair, bangs. She's kind of looking down, and as I'm walking, my first thought, I go, oh my God, how crazy, that lady looks like Betsey Johnson. And I just was like, oh, what a cool way to dress. So as we're walking now, approaching her, and we get closer, and she takes her sweater off, kind of fixes her bangs, puts her sweater in her lap, and now I'm like closer to her, and I look at her, I'm like, oh shit, that is Betsey Johnson. I got to find another word for shit. Oh, cool. Oh man, that is Betsey Johnson. There we go. So I'm like, oh man, that is Betsey Johnson. And so I'm just staring at her, and I'm like, there's no way, because she had no security. There wasn't like a crowd of people around her. There was some lady next to her. I'm like, maybe is that her bodyguard or like her personal assistant? And I'm like, I just was trying to figure out, like, am I hallucinating? And so she looks at me, and I'm like staring at her, and she looks at me, and I realize, like, oh my God, it's her. She smiles, and I put my hand over my mouth. I was like, oh. And then I just mouthed. I didn't say anything out loud. I didn't run up and hug her. I wasn't like, oh, you got Betsey Johnson. Oh, Betsey Johnson, I said this. I just looked at her, and I was like, oh, because she's so tiny. I was like, she can't be mommed by people, and I can't protect her because I got to get on a plane. So let me just be cool and move on. So I covered my mouth, and I was like, oh. And then I just mouthed. I didn't say anything audibly. I just mouthed the words, I love you. I was like, I love you. And she smiled and kind of did like a thank you, put her hand to her chest, and was like, put her head down as if to say like, thank you. And then she looked up and went like this. So if you're watching on YouTube, so she kind of had her finger, she smiled, and she had her finger and did it like a with her hand, and she goes, this is like the craziest. She looked right at me, and she just went with her finger. She goes, you're my kind of girl. And I was like, it was the craziest. It was You're my kind of girl. I was like, oh my God. And I said, and I smiled and I think like I'm forgetting what I did. I just got like hot and sweaty. It was as if I had rubbed my entire body with lip plumper and cocaine. I became hot and sweaty and I was like, oh my God. And I just kind of smiled. I was like, and then I waved and went to my plane and she smiled and kind of did like a quick hand wave and I walked away and I was like floating on air. So again, if you're implanting this in your brain, you're walking through the airport, the C gates at the show. I was at gate C9. So she was maybe, I don't know, 10, 12, maybe. Pretty close to me, opposite side. You're walking down. You're pushing your almost 2-year-old daughter in the stroller. And you see this woman and you're like, oh, that lady kind of looks like Betsey Johnson. And you get closer, you're like, it is Betsey Johnson. Eye contact, smile, hand to chest, hand over mouth. I love you. She smiles, nods, looks up, finger point, a quick up and down. You're my kind of girl. Wave, wave, walk. Quick interaction. It was so good. And I didn't think anyone would care, but I just I was like, I gotta tell the world. I wanted to like yell in the airport. It was so crazy. I'm walking around and I just see people. I'm like, how are you all just sitting here like Betsey Johnson not in this fucking airport? How are you all just sitting here like Betsey Johnson's not in this super airport? Kind of works. Okay. She doesn't know the difference. Child will go to kindergarten like, this pencil is super good. But she thinks everything is really super. So super. Yeah, it was crazy to me. And it's like, and thankfully my daughter was there so I can like focus on like, I'm like taking care of my daughter. We got to get on the plane. But I just was like, I wanted to just tell people are like, hey, and I'm like, these people don't know that I'm Betsey Johnson's kind of girl. And the world has to know. And I was just so excited. We sat on the plane and I was like, I try not to do anything in front of my daughter. Like maybe we take selfies together sometimes, but I don't like. So I'm almost never on my phone or my daughter, which means I'm almost never on my phone because I'm always around my daughter. And she was looking at something else. And so I'm like, let me just take a quick video. So I was like, and I was like, maybe I'll post this. I don't know. But I just had this, I was like, I got to tell somebody. I got to tell the world. And then I'm like, you know what? This is such a weird, no one's going to care. But I'm like, that's what the internet's for. And this sounds silly. This is like so dorky, but also with TikTok, I'm like, you know what? It's whatever. I'm trying to not take it seriously. I'm not doing stand-up anymore. I'm just trying to have fun with it. And like, so I just posted the video because I just was like, I gotta tell people. I almost thought of it as like, well, maybe some of my friends will see it. And that's easier than sending a group text. Just, if like 5 or 6 of my friends are like, oh my God, I saw your video. It's so cool. And it blew up on the internet. So thank you to everyone who watched it and commented. I feel very validated in knowing that other people are also like, oh, this would be like a life-changing event for me. And it's done so much to boost my self-confidence. I have a lot to say about that. We'll save it for another episode because I got to go and you got to go. We got things to do. I got a kid to take care of. You might too. If you're not a parent, I'm sure you have other things to do. Like take a long leisurely walk and get a coffee or not or whatever. Who cares? Because it doesn't really matter because you get to do whatever you want and please go do whatever you want. I will say this one thing, something I have decided to do and we'll do accountability for it at the next episode. I have decided in an effort to prolong the good feelings that I have, because I do feel very, very warm and fuzzy. I feel great. I'm going to check the monitor. Sorry, this is really boring. I see she's not awake. Okay, cool. You know what? I'll do sleep training in another episode. She's great about just kind of waking up and playing with her stuffed animals. It's lovely. And it's all thanks to me and my super duper parenting. Crazy if that's what I curse about. Yeah, I'm a great fucking parent. But anyway, we'll do sleep training another time. What was I? Focus, Wendi? Okay, got it. You talk to yourself too, that helps. Does it sound like I'm on drugs now? I haven't even had 2 cups of coffee. Maybe that's the problem. I need the coffee to calm me down. Such a boring conversation. It was like when you're a kid, you're like, so my body chemistry is opposite. And I drink caffeine and I take a nap and that makes me special. I know it's very cool not to like be neurodivergent or whatever. But you know, this is gonna sound terrible, but if you have it for real, it's like not something that you want to like advertise. At least for me, in my experience, as someone with bipolar, once I was diagnosed, even before I knew, I was like, man, I just something feels like I know this is. I would talk to friends like, and are you this way? And they'd be like, no. And I'm like, oh yeah, me neither. I'm just being silly. So I don't know, in my experience, you would try to like hide that stuff and it was shameful. So maybe it's good that it's out in the open and like, cool to be a little off. Anyway, focus. What was I going to say? Oh, the Betsey Johnson thing. So I feel great. It feels so good to, I mean, just like a hero of mine when I was a kid and even now as a grown up. Like she's just one of the coolest people I think who's ever existed. She's such a badass and like, it was just a very cool thing to say. And it's like burned in my brain and it's inspired me to go full force in doing something that I have wanted to do for most of my life. And I think a lot of people maybe do this where like, you're like, I'm going to be the best version of myself. And specifically with clothes. And I was better about it when I lived alone, especially when I did stand up and even not doing stand up. Like when you have a job, you have a place to be. So you're dressing up to go somewhere. And when I did stand up, I had clothes that were like, oh, these are like, we'd be like, oh, these are show clothes. These are going out clothes. When I lived in New York, I paid a little bit more attention to like how I looked because you walk out of your apartment. And especially when I lived in Manhattan, I was on the Upper East Side, but you leave your apartment and you're like, oh, I'm in the Matrix. You're in like a living, a moving, like it feels like runway. So you're just on display. And that's part of what I really liked about living there is it forced me to take a little bit of pride and ownership in how I looked and have fun with it and be like, oh, I'm like a character in the New York Story. It's so cheesy. It's so cheeseball to say, but it's really how I felt and how I feel now when I go visit. It just feels so good to just like walk around and look good and make eye contact with other people who look good and you're like looking good and they say it back to you. I've had so many experiences like that where you're just walking down and you're in like heels and a great coat and your hair's great and you see another hot person and you're walking around and be like, you look great. And they're like, you look great. Just as you power walk to nothing, you're not going anywhere. Maybe to like get another drink or meet your dealer. You're just like, it's highly recommended if you're single. Highly recommended if you're single. I mean, it probably is good if you're not. It's whatever. I don't want to go into it. What was I going to say? Oh, full circle. Wendi, focus. Focus, focus, focus. When I became a mom and I'm in the house a lot, and I think this is probably very common, you stop caring. It's not even caring so much, but you stop prioritizing your appearance and just general, like, I don't know, hygiene, like if you brushed your hair and your clothes, because you have the attitude of like, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in the house. Or like we're like, oh, who's going to see me? And I'm just hanging with my kid all the time and I'm going to the library, we're going to the park. So it's a combination of, it's just not a priority and also not having the time. And I know it's like, oh, you can make time. You can, but then you got to wake up at 4:35 in the morning to do it. And then you're sleep deprived and then you go into a hypomanic episode. So there has to be a balance of like getting sleep and doing like things to keep your house clean. Like it's like a lot to do. And if you don't have a nanny or you don't have your spouse who's like full-time, like, able to like help you 50-50, or like, it's difficult to do everything and to do everything well. And